everyone, it's GFX Rose and I'm here to show you how to make a simple GFX from start to finish, and I will try to get through all the details, but I want to make this as easy as possible. So if you enjoy this video, please be sure to hit the like button and notification bell to all so you don't miss any future videos on how to do these things. What I've done is I've opened Roblox Studio and I need to just go click on new and base plate. You don't have to create anything else but that. Then I need to make sure I have my plugins. You'll want to watch the other videos if you don't have these plugins. I go into specific detail. Today I'm going to be using this Load Character AlreadyPro's plugins. You will add your username in, whichever one you want. Of course, I'm going to use myself. And so I type it in, and this is a simple GFX. If you were to make a more specific GFX, you would pick Spawn R6, but we are going to use Spawn R15 for a simple GFX that will not require a rig file. You click Spawn R15 and you can delete this plugin now by clicking on the X. Now, as you can see, I just have the plain face. I want to change that, so I will go in and use the other plugin, Easy Insert, and I will remove the face and type in the super happy face that I love. I've typed in the number, I click on Insert, and there's the super happy face that I want. Now I need to go over to the Explorer panel and I right click and go down to Export Selection. I'm going to put this on the desktop and I'll create a new folder for that. You can of course do whatever you like, and we make another file here and we enter it. Now I want to use a model. I can go over here. You can watch my video on how to bring in models. I'm going to choose a model I already have in mind. Let me go get that. So I got my model. It is a Static Paris view, and I am now going to right click on the model name. It will be highlighted in blue, okay? And export that selection as well as an OBJ file. Of course, you can call it whatever you like, just as long as you remember the name. Again, I'll put it on the desktop and save it. Now we are basically done with Roblox Studio. It's as simple as that. And this is for GFX tutorials. So we're going to head on over to Blender. Let's open Blender. I'm using Blender 2.9. As you see here, you want to click anywhere outside of this picture to get things going. On the bottom of your screen, you'll be able to see anytime I'm clicking, that's going to give you the actual keystrokes that I'm using. To move in Blender, you hit the Shift key as well as your middle mouse, and that will allow you to move around. You can also use WASD, but you have to hit F first. I've just gotten so used to doing the Shift and the middle mouse that you'll see me using that technique most often. So we need to delete this cube. We're not going to be building today. We're just making a GFX. We're going to go up here and import our OBJ. I have saved it on the desktop, so let's go there. And you're going to pick your item first. But when you pick this, guys, be sure you go over to Geometry and click Split by Group. This is important when you're making the simple GFX so that all of this will divide into parts. Okay? As you can see here, I have no coloring whatsoever. I need to go over to this area here and change my appearance, the viewport shading, and it will immediately change the shading. Okay, everything is clicked on. You also need to set the origin, so you're going to have to click off and then re-click everything. This is just to make sure that you have all of the parts clicked, and it's going to take your face, take everything there, right click, hit set origin, origin to geometry, and this is going to allow you to actually rotate and move your arms without having what's called the rig. So this will work perfectly for a simple GFX. Now let's add in our other object. File, Import. We want to add in the Paris, so we hit the OBJ, Import, and that will bring in the Paris object as well. Okay, that might take a while, just to let you know. Right-click, Set to Origin, Origin to Geometry, and again, now you can have access to all of this. So what we'll want to do is move. You can move either the item or the character, depending on what you think is most difficult. You go down, pull down menu, hit move, and that will allow you to come up with your move buttons, and it makes things a lot easier. So I'm just going to move this huge project to her, and that is where the sky is going to be, so that you can see Paris through the window. Okay? Now, of course, this all looks crazy. That's because of how we have it set up. It is clicked on at the moment that I click off of it. It'll start to come to view. You also need lighting, which we will deal with a little bit later. Outside of the box, you can see the Eiffel Tower, but the moment we get inside, you're just seeing a white door. So what you'll need to do here is actually click on, not that, but click on the whole door. Might be better on this side. You click on this door, and you're just going to move it to the side because it's not necessary for this purpose. And now when you make your picture, you'll be able to have the Eiffel Tower in the background. If you don't care about the Eiffel Tower, just leave the door. It doesn't matter. So we need to turn her and position her how we want. So I will speed up the video now so that you guys can see how that works. Let's now talk about the settings that you'll need for your GFX Studio. And remember, it may be a little bit intimidating, or you may see people do it different ways, but it's kind of like any artwork. Everyone has an opinion on how to do these things, and they vary. So this is the way that I'm going to do it. You want to set this from Eevee over on the render engine to cycles. You need to make sure that your render is at 160. Will help the speed. You also want to click on denoising and click on the NLM. It does make rendering slower, but it's a little bit, the graphics are more detailed, so you want to pick that as well. Then you need to click on light paths, transparency, turn that to 0. Move to the next tab right under this output properties. If you want this to be for Instagram, you want to put this at 1200 by 1200. I'm going to leave it at the 1920 1080 because that's what I'm going to use for YouTube. And there are other people that have put it at 2000 by 2000. It's really your preference as to what you're wanting this camera size to be. That's what you're choosing here, the resolution for your camera. Okay, then you need to go down, and this already is PNG because that's what I'm always doing, but you may find that it was on something else. So you need to make sure that's PNG and RGBA. Once you've done it once, it pretty much is going to stay there for you, but you always want to double check just to be sure. Now we need to add in our camera. You click down here where it says add camera, actually the top, add camera. And now you'll be able to move back and forth from the view of your camera. It's showing me nothing, so I need to find my camera. Where is my camera? It's no problem. It's right here. It is needing to be moved. So we zoom out and we can see it much better. Just move it here. That is your little camera guy right there. And to get back into camera view so you can see what you're seeing, you move it here. Okay? We need to obviously move it up and have it angling appropriately. So let me adjust that now and get our camera view right. So generally speaking, I have the camera view where I want it. I just need to move it down a little bit more to get less of the ceiling and play around with it that way so that I can get the whole frame and all of myself in the picture. So now I have it where I want it, but I still want to see more of myself up and down, but I'm not doing this for Instagram. So I'm just going to go ahead and add 2000, and that's going to make it change the perspective of the camera, and I can go in and fix it later when I'm working on my thumbnail or for my YouTube video. I can adjust and zoom in and crop and that sort of thing, but at least I will have the full picture that I want. So now we need to work on the lighting. Let's go ahead and figure that out. So now we need to go to the little world icon, and you need to click on color here, the yellow button, and click environment texture. Then you're going to actually open a new file that you need to find from, I would recommend HDRI Haven is the website, and this is going to give you this sense of a real picture in your background. Here's the website I recommend, HDRI. If you like a picture that you choose, you just click on it and save it. You want to download it as the RK file. Just put it again under your same area. This is Venice. We'll see if that works. Of course, Paris and Venice, totally different places. I've been to both. So we'll play around with the lighting. I was going for the beautiful kind of rosy sunset there, or I think this is called sunrise, sorry. So trying to fit that in, and I need to just play around with it and see if it works. In order to play around with it, I will open the file, go to where I saved it, and click on Venice Sunrise and add that in. I will need to adjust it and use the render mode to see how it works for this picture. So I found the perfect HDRI, but as you can see, my camera is showing this too much of the sky now, because obviously you would not have a house with no ceiling on it, no roof. So I'm going to readjust the camera, move it down, make it more centered on the actual avatar and the room itself. Now I have my camera where I want. Then I need to focus on the light and moving the light so that it is on the face instead of behind the face. So let's get out of camera mode, and you can see, isn't this funny? This is how these HDRIs work. They're just in the middle of nowhere. I don't need to stay in rendering mode, so I'm going to move back to the regular viewport shading, and it goes away. It's less glitchy that way. You're not dealing with a bunch of drama. I'm just going to move the light now down in front of my face so that I'm looking oh so glowy, beautiful, all of that, making sure that it all looks natural and helps the picture in the end. See how much different it looks now? I went back into render mode to show you guys. I adjusted it off camera, and now she is totally lit up. In fact, maybe she's a little bit too much. It really just depends on what you're looking for, and of course you can adjust lighting and move it back and forth to your liking. Going to the lighting area, the little lamp, you see this is 1,000 watts of power. I can just hold it down and make it softer so that it's not quite so bright, and mess with it that way to whatever I'm feeling. If it was too much, let's get it down to about 900 and see how that looks. Do we like that a little bit better? I mean, sure, it looks fine. You also can change the color. It's white right now, but I can go over here and I could make it a nice pink glow. And, you know, they do say you wear rose-colored glasses in Paris. So then that gives a nice pastel look, softness to it. It's really whatever you're wanting for your picture. I've picked a soft color, and now I'm really ready to render this picture. I'm in render mode. I just need to click on render image, and this takes a while. So it depends on how powerful your computer is, but it will render the image for you. So I will be right back. Yay, so here's my rendered picture. I will admit, in the rendering, want to be honest, I could see that the arm and legs weren't quite right. That's the joy of while it's rendering, you just would click at the top X here, get out of it, fix what you need to fix by going in and rotating the limbs again, and you can see it better. Of course you're going to see the mistakes when you're rendering because this is high definition picture here, and that's the point. That's what we love about a GFX. Now you want to save your picture. You take the image, save it in that same file, and call it whatever you like. I'm going to call it GFX Rose in Paris, right? And there you have it, guys. That's how you make a simple GFX. You don't need the rigging file. You just use your own import and it'll be no problem. So be sure that you hit the like button if you've enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or concerns. I'd be happy to answer them for you. Set notifications to all, and I'll do more videos on more complex GMX, ways to have all kinds of lighting and multiple people in your picture, and all kinds of videos will be coming. So please be sure that you have subscribed and hit the bell to all. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye, everyone.